Whoa! Whoa! I'm just kidding, I would never endanger a real human child like that, because I'm a flawless, charitable human being who's never done anything wrong in his entire life, no matter what any real person or movie says about me. Oh, you want me to cut this bit from the review? You think it's tasteless? That's right, welcome back to This Week I Watched, where this week I watched the 2026 film Michael, Antoine Fuqua's biographical musical about Michael Jackson, starring Jaffa Jackson as Michael himself, Coleman Domingo as Father Joseph Jackson, Nia Long as Mother Catherine Jackson, and Miles Teller as Manager John Branca. The film follows Michael from the Jackson 5 era through his early solo superstardom in the 70s and 80s. If you came to the cinema for a 2-hour Michael Jackson playlist with a couple of music video recreations, then yes, this movie absolutely is for you. But if you came hoping for something that digs into Jackson as a person, focusing on his private anxieties and indiscretions, then the film gives you very little to hold on to, as it's basically just a greatest hits package. The biggest elephant in the room is the omission of the later abuse allegations and the more damaging parts of Jackson's public legacy. Even when the movie does acknowledge a hardship in his life, like the abuse at his father's hands, his self-image issues, and even the infamous pyrotechnic accident, it does so in such a cautious and emotionally distanced way that the scenes barely register before the next musical number starts. That said, the cast is a major strength. Jaffa Jackson does much better than I expected, and the familial resemblance helps of course, but it's more than a gimmick and he really becomes Michael. Not literally. However, Coleman Domingo is probably the most interesting presence in the film for me. By design, Joseph Jackson is an antagonistic figure in Michael's life, but Domingo gives him enough dimensionality that he never becomes a cartoon, and similarly disappears into the character. Miles Teller as John Branca, on the other hand, is given such a generic character that he has nothing to work with, resulting in one of his most phoned-in performances so far. The songs themselves are obviously still extraordinary, but outside of the more obvious music video recreations, the performances are often shot in a very flat, conventional way that makes them all kind of blend together, which works for the first few songs, but by the end, I kept wishing I was watching a much more adventurous recent biopic, like Rocket Man or Better Man, for example. I did appreciate the costume and production design, especially in the earlier 70s Motown era chapter, and then again once the film reaches more iconic 80s looks. There's a real attention to detail in all of Jackson's costumes, but that's all the film really amounts to, recreating his best moments at a surface level without including any of the details that actually matter, with some performances ranging from passable to lazy, and a heavily sanitized PG-rated script that brought nothing new to the table other than constant glaze. Michael is an incredibly generic, bewilderingly toothless film that only gets 4 thumbs up out of 10 from me. That's a wrap, so thanks for watching.